Union is calling for an independent report of the police response to the riots, a cover-up.
He says the report, not an accurate representation of what happened that weekend, and that the blame for the damage and violence should not be put on the police. News 8 Sierra Hignite has more on his response. Sierra?
Snyder says that the report citing poor communication, lack of training, and preparedness is correct, but not when speaking about police. He's claiming that there were calls made on Friday and Saturday night by city leaders that led to the riots reaching a point of no return. The independent report looking into IMPD's riot response says their approach prompted the protests to turn violent, that their actions after things started to get out of hand was not well managed or executed.
Our police officers feel like they are absolutely thrown under the bus by the political structure in the city, and that this was simply to generate political cover for the people who made poor decisions or failed to make any decisions at all.
FOP's Rick Snyder says the blame for the response should not be on police.
It said that the police officers were unprepared, undertrained, and lacked communication. What the true facts are of what occurred is the ones that were unprepared, undertrained, and lacking communication were the politicians and the decision makers, not the police officers.
Snyder calls IMPD one of the most highly trained police forces in the country. Officers are cited in the report as saying they felt they were not prepared and that there was no clear direction given.
What was written in that report really is a very myopic view, and in many instances is not only not what the person said, but in some instances, the complete opposite of what they said.
The report states officers were told to stand down and allow the crowds to congregate at the circle, which Snyder says resulted in a riotous and violent situation.
The problem wasn't the training. The problem was not that we were overwhelmed. It was that our well-trained, well-qualified officers were ordered to stand down, work from a compromised posture.
The report specifically mentions officers dressed in riot gear as a contributing factor to the violent behavior in the crowd over the weekend.
OSHA regulations mandate that in that scenario, our officers are required to wear that equipment.
Snyder says the changes on Sunday that he feels made the biggest impact in preventing another night of violence is the curfew and other restrictions that were put in place. All things that he says should have been done earlier in the week to prevent the riots in the first place. Reporting, I'm Sierra Hignite, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.